Excuse me, it's the middle of the week and there's already way too much going on. Let's talk about it.
Go crazy like a Zula if these bitches want that static. Don't play with me. Go play in some traffic. Don't play with me.
You know what? Let's just get the politics out of the way, especially since I cannot wait to talk about Katie Porter. Let's see what's first on the list. New York State Attorney General Office. Now, this is the announcement that they made. We have informed the Trump Organization. I know that we have not heard a lot about what has been going on in Trump world. Thankfully, we don't have to hear his ass. We don't have to see his ass say or do dumb shit all the time. It's definitely in our peripheral, but I just wanted to check in and see what the hell is going on. So this is what the Attorney General Office over there in New York said. We have informed the Trump Organization that our investigation into the organization is no longer purely civil in nature. Them girls said, hey, guess what? We think we have enough evidence. We think we have enough tea, all right, to make sure that we get these girls in a nice, cute little criminal box. They said we are now actively investigating the Trump Organization in a criminal capacity along with the Manhattan DA. We have no additional comment. I cannot wait to see all of the cards falling down. Now, you have to remember that Jared Kushner and Ivanka, I think they're a part of this organization as well. So I want to see what's going on. Remember, they made upwards of $600 million during their stay in the White House. And it was so hilarious of them talking about, oh girl, you know, we're gonna forego our salaries. We're not gonna take our government salaries. And if you add up all the money that they made while they were in the White House, that's just like 1% of what they made. So I can only imagine the types of paperwork and bullshit and paper trails and all type of shit they gotta go dig in and see what the hell's going on. So yeah, we hadn't heard about what's been going on with Barnyard Hay Built Ass Scalp and the rest of his family, so that's just a quick update. But like I said, since we're on the topic of politics, I want to focus on Katie Porter. We all know Katie Porter, a representative for California. Anytime she whips out that whiteboard and she's in these hearings, it's going to spell death and destruction. It's gonna spell total disaster for whoever is in that hot seat. And Richard Gonzalez, he is the CEO of AbbVie, if I'm getting that correct. Basically a Big Pharma CEO, Richard Gonzalez, he was the one in the hot seat. And Katie Porter's goal in this was just to show how much these big pharmaceutical companies are lying and how much a lot of their business model focuses on just making coin and not actually investing in the medicine that they're selling to people, right? So for example, she pointed out brilliantly, she does it so that everyday Americans can understand it. She pointed out that the company spent like $2.45 billion on research and development. That is researching, like scientific research, developing the fucking medicine. You bitches are over here saying, oh, y'all have to pay astronomical prices because we're putting so much into research and development. But then you spend $4.7 billion on marketing. You know what I mean? And then you spend $50 billion on stock buybacks and dividends. And this is what she had to say about that. The Big Pharma fairy tale is one of groundbreaking research and development that justifies astronomical prices. But the pharma reality is that you spend most of your company's money making money for yourself and for your shareholders. So it's just like if you're going to be charging astronomical prices and these medicines are not improved, you're going to be charging astronomical prices and you're not even investing in research and development, which is supposed to be the whole entire point of your fucking company. And a lot of times these pharmaceutical companies will take taxpayer dollars to funnel into their research and development departments and literally sell that same medicine back to the taxpayers at crazy prices. So Katie Porter just got in that ass, she dug in that ass, and it's iconic, it's legendary. I love to see it happen every time it happens. And I don't know why the executives don't go up there at least with a way to spin this shit. You mean to tell me you know that you're going up in front of Katie Porter and instead of preparing yourself or preparing your arguments, even if it's full of propaganda, you know what I mean? Like, I would at least expect that from those vampires, you know what I mean? But y'all know who Katie Porter is and y'all just walk up to Congress and sit your ass down and don't even care about getting your ass grilled. And you know, as I'm saying that, I realize that they probably don't care because shit ain't gonna change. Shit ain't gonna change. I mean, I feel like, you know, we need more Katie Porters and others who are able to lay these issues out like in the way that she does, easy to understand. But I feel that's probably why these executives come there and don't give a fuck. I'm not prepared, not even a bullshit argument to give back, because it's my assumption now that, you know, at the end of the day, they feel like nothing's gonna change. And given history, like, are they wrong to think that? I don't know. Either way, I love when Katie Porter drags their ass. This week's episode of my podcast on patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Sign up and check it out. We talked about the most recent episode of Pose, and the podcast episode is entitled Let the Church Say Gay Men. So I'm sure just by that and just by the nature of who I am, I'm sure you know I had a whole lot to say about that. So go over there, check it out if that's something you're interested in. But since we're on that topic, Billy Porter just did an interview with Hollywood Reporter revealing that he has been living with HIV since 2007. And the first thing that popped into my mind was like, wow, I can only imagine. And he also brought up, you know, not being able to tell his mother because of, as he put it, because of shame, and because like she had been dealing with so much ridicule and stress and trauma and shit just because of what people in her community put her through because of his queerness. So he did not want to add on top of that by telling her. So yeah, the first thing that popped into my head was, since he talked about his mother and all of that, is the scenes that he had to act during the latest episode of Pose. And, you know, just coming to, Pray Tell had to come to his family saying, you know, like, I'm dying of AIDS. Like, and so I can only imagine going through that in real time and then having to act that shit out. You know, he also said that he told everybody, the cast and crew, everybody at the last day of filming on Pose, he told everybody, he talked about survivor's guilt, he talked about standing on the shoulders of the generation who had to go through the most severe parts of this shit, the HIV and AIDS crisis. Like, he talked about working through his trauma and rebirth and telling a new story, and it was just a really good interview. It was a really good interview for Hollywood Reporter. It's cool to see him basically saying, I'm standing up against all this bullshit stigma. I mean, look at this is what HIV looks like. I mean, he said 2007, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the worst years of his life or something. Around that time, he had got diagnosed with diabetes. They told him that he was HIV positive, and also that he filed for bankruptcy as well. He's just, I love when people, even though they have gone through some really hard things, I just love when those kinds of people take all that was thrown against them and thrown at them and just flourish into exactly who they were meant to be. I feel like it is a very hopeful message. But also, like I said before, I love that it's working against the stigma. And I think that we are miles and light years ahead of where we used to be, but there's still a lot of ignorance and a lot of people who need to educate themselves on this shit. So I'm glad that Billy Porter is speaking out about it. So really, like, congratulations to him. Nothing but success. Love that, love that. All right, so this whole Issa Rae and Lauren London situation, if you're not sure why they were both trending today, I'm gonna break it down for you. So Issa, first of all, she looks beautiful. She did this Vanity Fair shoot and interview. Looks fucking amazing as usual, as we expected. The interview was pretty long, but the part of it that went viral was the one where she talked about her experience. She's talked about it before, her experience just pitching shows, pitching her main show, pitching her content for TV and TV executives, and it mostly focused on her memoir. I'm gonna read you a part of Vanity Fair's article on this. Both in interviews and in her memoir, Issa Rae has told the story of a TV executive who suggested that Lauren London would be a great fit for a cable version of Awkward Black Girl. The moral of the story was not only that executives were out of touch with black women, swapping one for another even when they were nothing alike, but also that dark-skinned black women could be edited out of their own narratives. In a twist that Rae did not anticipate, the anecdote hurt Lauren London's feelings. Issa Rae said that was one of her biggest regrets in naming her. Now, at first I was like, I would have paid Lauren London dust. I would have paid her ass dust. What you mean? Like, if that shit is in my memoir and I'm saying, like, I'm the creator, if I'm a black woman, I'm the creator of this show, I'm executive producing shit, I'm writing shit, and these TV executives want to write me out my own shit, don't even want me to star in my own shit, don't even want another dark-skinned woman to star in my own fucking shit, and they put out the name Lauren London, I'm gonna put that shit in my memoir. It's no shade against the person, but it's just, it is what it is. But I think what Lauren London might have had a problem with, one of the things that she had a problem with was in her memoir, Issa Rae referred to her as the actress slash video girl slash Lil Wayne's baby mother, Lauren London. That's what she called her. So I can understand kind of what Lauren London, like Lil Wayne's baby mama, like what you mean by that. But at the same time, I still was like, okay, now keep in mind, Issa and Lauren have worked this shit out. They worked this shit out, they talked it out, it's fine. But I'm just talking about my personal feelings, because Issa said basically that Nipsey Hussle organized it so that they could speak to each other. Lauren London and Issa Rae could speak to each other. And she said they had a great 2-hour conversation, they sorted it out. But this is the thing that annoys the shit out of me. This is what Issa Rae said. It actually sparked an amazing 2-hour conversation. We had so much in common. She was like, Lauren London was like, people don't understand. I'm an awkward black girl. And Issa Rae said, in the same way that I was upset about the limited portrayal of black women, Lauren London was like, people do the same thing to me, and Issa Rae said, I completely get that. Like I said, they worked it out, so this is not even no beef, no drama, but this is why they were trending. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about this particular situation, but I understand it, and I'm like examining it from multiple perspectives, because, you know, looking at it from Issa's point of view, you know, there's certain things, there's certain topics and shit that I've addressed, certain things I've said about people that I'm like, okay, I regret that shit. Like, I wish I didn't say that shit. But at the same time, like, it seemed from the way that it's being presented, it seemed like Lauren London was more mad that her name was brought up. But like I said, that baby mama, Lil Wayne baby mama stuff, I could understand her being like, okay, what the hell's going on? But it seemed like from the little bit that we understand about their 2-hour conversation that Issa gave us, it seemed like Lauren London was more pressed that her name was brought up instead of looking at the bigger picture. That is what comes across to me as corny. Because I'm like, if I'm writing a whole memoir, if I'm writing pages about how I'm a dark-skinned black woman in this industry and all they want is these Lauren Londons, even on my project that I pitched to them, I just feel like if I was reading that shit, my response would be like, oh shit, like there is a huge problem in the industry, instead of like, oh my god, my name was brought up and I'm an awkward black girl too, and oh my god, I'm treated the same way, and I'd be like, girl, I would have paid her so much dust. I would have paid her so much dust. I would pay her so much dust. But that's not even the main point. Like, the main point is the industry. The main point is the industry. It's the fact that they had enough, like, you bitches really had enough audacity to look in Issa Rae's fucking face, who wrote this shit out, planned this shit out, executive produced this shit out. She acting in her own shit. I mean, a powerhouse of creativity. You don't look her fucking face and tell her, hey, guess what, girl? I know you said a dark-skinned woman was supposed to be leading this fucking show and insecure and all this shit, awkward black girl. But how about we get somebody who does not really understand fully how you have to navigate through the world? How about we get these Lauren Londons? How about we get these like you really have to have a lot of audacity as a TV exec to look in Issa Rae's creative ass fucking face and tell her to sit her ass down in her own fucking story. Like, you bitches really fucking tried it, okay? And it's crazy because I think about like, okay, so what if somebody who was not Issa Rae, or did not look like Issa Rae, did not have some of the same experiences as Issa Rae? What if somebody else who was given like paper bag tests, like what if someone else was leading that show? It would have been just like any other show on TV. Like, it would not have been as compelling, in my opinion. But I can only imagine the types of things that we don't hear about that women like Issa Rae have to deal with in the fucking industry. And it's just like, it doesn't matter that you create your own shit. The bitch, like, she made her own entire brand. Like, she worked that shit from the ground up. It doesn't even matter how talented you are. They treat you like shit. That's crazy. And to me, I guess that's why I had spent so much time on the first part of it, like addressing Lauren London's reaction, or what I can see as the reaction. It's like, why is that not the focus? Why is that not the topic? But your name being brought up in it is like, it hurts your feelings. Like, bitch, I would have been like, girl, get out my fucking face. But it may not have been all that. Like I said, we just got short little excerpts and short little, you know what I mean, blurbs about a long ass conversation that happened. And this is something that, you know, we just don't have direct access to. I don't know what's going on in Issa phone, Issa mind, or Lauren London phone, or her mind. I don't know their relationship like that. But from surface level, this is just a surface level thing. That's kind of what I got from it. I was like, girl, okay. But for the industry to be so thirsty for black shit. Y'all suck that shit up any place, any crevice you find it, you suck that shit up and try to regurgitate that shit, and it's really ugly and stupid. For the industry to be this thirsty for black shit, that's what they want, like black art, content, all type of shit. How dare you not put some respect on the black like artists and creators' names? How dare you make them sit down and beg for scraps on their own shit, bitch? Like you bitches really got to. You got to get y'all shit rocked one good time. And last but definitely, I guess it's least too, because I'm not gonna talk about this shit for that long. I'm really not. Kenya Barris, I guess he's the one who did Grownish, Blackish, all that shit. He coming out with, remember they said they were trying to do Oldish, but now he coming out with Brownish. Apparently, what is it? They're developing a show called Brownish, which will revolve around the modern Latinx family. Ain't nothing deep, ain't no deep analysis. All I'm gonna say is I'm tired. And I was just talking about paper bag test. Oops. I'm tired. I'm tired of the ish. I'm tired. I'm sure he's not tired of the checks that they fucking make from that show. It is what it is. But what I'm saying to you is that I really could live the rest of my life without seeing any more ish on my motherfucker show, unless it comes like a F is before it. So fish, and what I mean by that is some saltfish, some ackee saltfish, some dumpling, some cauliflower, saltfish, ackee codfish. That's maybe something like that, but bitch, the rest of these issues and shit like that, they can go. I'm waiting for him to develop top-ish, bottom-ish, verse-ish. What else are we doing? Fleet-ish, bussy-ish, jacked, your private pictures have been unlocked-ish, faggish, like what? What else is next? It's just the, what they call it? The ish cinematic universe. I'm done. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. I think I want to do a Patreon spotlight pretty soon, so let me know. Sign up, let me know if you want to be featured, blah, 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 blah. Y'all already know what the T is. Check it out. Love y'all so much. Check the podcast out. Make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.